my bachelor's, and it was 4 years, and that was a long time. Now, when I look back at my life, and this is part of inspiring you, because when you're young, this is the problem with young people. They want things quick. They're not patient. They don't see the long-term benefits of making decisions now, how it could affect your life. Now, when I look back at my years at Eckerd, I was like, that was nothing. 4 years was nothing.
I should have done it.
Right. I should have done it sooner.
Yeah.
And life is a continuous learning thing. And I love it and I like it. And because of what I did in the past, and I stood by it, I studied something that nobody studied in my family. All my family, doctors, lawyers, dentists, they brag about how much money they make. I was the only one that went in a field where you don't make a lot of money. I took the road nobody took because that made me happy. But I was like, I sat there like you, and I sit there and I'm like, how old am I again? 23, then 27, and I should be a doctor by 31. That didn't work out too well. Some things in life just don't work out too well. But you have to study. If you don't, you'll be dumb, just like the rest of them. You know. Now I'm getting ready to travel, and I'm talking to people overseas, and it's amazing that they sit there and they profile me for a very long time. They know more about me than I know about me. And they're telling me now, overseas, they said, in this country, we don't have any psychologist that opens a private firm. We need you to come and open a private office, a small one, and sit there and talk to these people. And they're telling me, the people that's coming to talk to you, they're millionaires. They have a lot of problems. And it's funny, they make jokes along the way, but they're real jokes. They said, poor people, they learn to accept. Rich people, they don't accept. So they have more psychological problems. Where they're willing to pay you for your words of wisdom that you have studied for a very long time. So now it pushes me even more to, now I have to go back to the basics. I have 84,000 teachings I have to, as a monk. Then I have to go back again to revisit some of the psychological stuff that I have forgotten and study over and over again. What is my point here? Is that you were young, you were intelligent, do the damn thing. Don't think. The problem is we think. It's like, Prisha, can you please take out the trash? And you sit there, you think about it, which is, it's smelly, it's heavy, it's down the hall, I gotta put my shoes on, and I gotta open the door. It's a dark-ass room. It's got ghosts in there. I gotta open that thing, and it's dirty, and ew, I want gloves. I want to throw it, and ew, I gotta come back. It's such a long walk back, and I gotta open the door. I gotta see David's face. Think about the process we think. How we think before we do it, and then that's why people don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, if you ever had respect for a representative of the Buddha's lineage, and if we tell you to do something because you put faith and confidence in us that we would never misguide you, that would be one recommendation I give you, is that we are trained to see your talent and skills, and we're trained to see where we think you could be good at. And we are rarely miscalculated when we give such recommendation for a bright future like you. So when we tell you, Prisha, 4 years, ain't nothing. Go by like that.
Yes.
And you can actually finish it in like 3 years. They have accelerated courses now. Like doctorate programs now, you can get done in like 2 years. Barely 2 years.
Yeah. That's what I told David. I told David and Prisha, one of the best decisions that I made in my life was not thinking and doing it. Like a lot of decisions that I made. Instead of buying a car, opening up businesses, buying furniture, whatever. I don't think a lot.
All right.
I just do it.
Let's talk about the second thing that is very important. The assignment that I gave you, the class is here. It was a test. Do you know what the test is about?
Time management, and then to finish a course.
To see if you can finish something that you start.
Yeah.
To see if you want it bad enough to learn. Right? You failed. You know you failed. Right? You also have to sit there and think, if he gave me an assignment, what is he trying to do?
I know your motive, but yeah, I think it was just like
right? But I wanted you to learn about yourself. The point is not about me. It's about you. You learn about yourself, what you know about yourself. What can I start and what can I finish? And what is my determination? If I'm determined to do something, I'm gonna do it.
She need
Yeah.
determination.
You're lacking motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that, right? And you're wasting very, very precious,
Yeah.
valuable time. You know, and so is he, and so is me. You know, right now everyone's running out of time. Really, and I have to catch up on all the old stuff that I forgot. He has to always bring a book with him. He has neglected that. And I haven't had a conversation with him about that yet. But you always need to have a book with you, no matter where you go. In the car, when you're drinking coffee, when you're doing... Look, every time when I come up here, what do you see me hold? Something, right? Why do I have it? Because I know you're going to be busy in there and food's not going to come out right. It's a rare thing that food comes out right away. I know how you all think. So I anticipate. And I need to catch up. Even if I can catch up 4 minutes each day that I carry this with me. It's a pain in the ass carrying all this with me. But 4 minutes times a week is a lot of minutes I save that I can do something else. You must learn from the wise. You must learn from the wise. And not be lazy and not carry a book, not carry a laptop, and not carry none of these things. That's the problem with, I got students doing their homework on their phone. What the hell? Do you have money for a laptop? Get a damn laptop and actually see, study, learn, absorb, remember. You know what I mean? Some of the newer degrees now, it's worthless. Some of these students down the road, useless. They can't remember nothing. They do it just for the piece of paper, hang on the wall. When they go out and they work, they die. They die completely. That wasn't me. You know, when I set off to become the next psychologist, I realized that, remember this, and I was 23, I was somewhere around his age, where I realized, don't drink alcohol, it messes up your brain, then you can't remember. You'll pass your class, but you can't remember. What good are you when they ask you questions you can't remember? The doctor that you sat with, just imagine if he, can't remember. He couldn't be the best of the best. Everybody in this room has to be the best of the best. So, we got 2 young lives looking at us. If 3 of us is too late, fine. 3 of us failed. But there's 2 that's young here that can learn from the lesson from today.
And you have an opportunity to take this time and to get somewhere that I've told Pisha, if I have time, I'm going back to school. I missed out a lot.
So did you finish the biography of the Buddha?
Not yet.
You failed the second test.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do is a test for all of you, any of you, at any time. And you should always know that. You should hold a standard for yourself. You know, me growing up, my dad didn't supervise me like he should, because he wanted to see. So I supervise myself, like him. Everything I'm teaching him is about self-discipline. Why do you need someone to stand over you to remind you? You stand over yourself to remind you. You hold the standard for yourself. Mm-hmm. Me growing up when I was little, I always brought things with me, and I always pretended what if someone asked me about this? How am I going to answer? Well, I'm going to answer, I got it done. And I got it done on time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So these type of tests is meant to shake you up. To see your personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Personal responsibility. Yeah. This is something that Thandar has exemplified. If anyone ever learned anything from Thandar, is that she sets out to do something, she does it, she has a timeline, she has things that she has an organization process that also includes a timeline. Is she perfect? No. But look at how things she want in a certain way. So each young person in this room need to realize that if I need to stay on top of myself. Thandar need to not stay on top of me. Monk need to not stay on. No one needs. I need to do this for myself. You got to do it now while you're young.
Yeah.
You know, the world's turning into shit right now. Look at the wars that we've got. We got 2 wars already in less than 6 months,
so sad.
Apart from each other. What the hell? All right, and the United States is falling apart. Your chances of studying, I'm telling you, you're running out of time. I am in panic mode. The fact that I got this whole thing right here, I have to go to work. And if I didn't have to do this, I'll be studying like I used to be. I used to come up here with books in my hand, and now I got this thing and I got this thing. You know what I mean? So in my head, there's alarms going off, right? And if he watched closely when I was behind Luis's car today, do you see the Power of Observations book, the Satipatthana? It was back there with me, and I just could not muster any ounces of energy to read that book. I had to rest in the car. That means that's serious. If I drag a book with me and I'm not reading it, he is very exhausted. He's not going to tell you about it. He's going to keep it to himself. And then the other thing is that, you know, somebody posted on Instagram. I saved it. Is it on this one? I want to read it to you guys because you all need to learn now. My words for you all are like gold, and if I don't pass this along to you guys, oh shit, here it is. Someone posted this wonderful thing, right? Bear with me. One paragraph. Two paragraphs. Always carry a book with you. According to U.S. and World Report, over the course of your lifetime, you will spend 8 months opening junk mail, 2 years unsuccessfully returning phone calls, and 5 years standing in line. 5 years standing in line. You been to DMV? Yeah, DMV? Yeah. Long time sitting there. Giving this startling fact, one of the simplest yet smartest time management strategy you can follow is to never go anywhere without a book under your arm. While others waiting in line are complaining, you will be growing and feeding your mind a rich diet of ideas found in great books. So as long as you live, keep learning how to live. That's see this purple thing? So as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Noted the Roman philosopher Seneca. Yet most people never read more than a handful of books after they complete their formal school. In these times of rapid change, ideas are the commodity of success. That's why you're always coming up with ideas. That's why you can't stay still with one profession. Okay? You're doing what this is telling you to do. You're doing what this thing is warning people to do. You see why you're different than the rest of them. Yeah? Miss Thandar. The great Thandar. All it takes is one idea from the right book to reshape your character or to transform your relationship or to revolutionize your life. A good book can change the way you live. Ask the philosopher. That's it. Whoever's smart, if you guys are not awakened and like
Alert.
enlightened tonight, now you know why. But I've been operating like this since I was young.
Yeah.
It's no wonder why I have 1 million followers. Just because I just sat there at DMVs and doctors' offices for hours, and I'm like, what a waste of my life. Holy shit, I should bring a book. And I brought a book. And I was just like sitting there minding my own damn business. I don't care if people think I'm a nerd. I don't care if they think I'm an Asian nerd. I'm going to read my book. I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm with clients, I hope they don't talk to me.
Yeah.
We have nothing to talk about. Nothing you're gonna say is wisdom in my ear. It's just like, can you just mind your business? Go look at CNN so I can read my book.
Yeah.
Huh? So you should always read a book because down the road you don't want to be dumb. All right, I think I'm done ingraining that in your head. I just, you know why I'm sitting here doing this? Because I don't want you guys to waste your life. Me and you have already spoke about how dumb people are, right? And your generation, Gen Zoomers, right? And you want to be great. And I'm questioning every day, how great are you going to be and how you're going to live up to your name as the great Korean man that you are. And I never imagined myself to be great, but I obviously wasn't going to waste my time. And when it is your time, you're going to be great. And I can tell if you're going to get your RN, you're going to be the first RN to make $1 million in a year. Because someone's going to recognize it. Someone's going to. You already have doctors that recognized it. That is an alarm. That is a success alarm for you. That should be like red lights going off in your head, saying that, and now tonight you learn that the doctor is also FACS certified. So that means these are very intelligent, perhaps very few in the world that recognize what you're doing right and how you're an asset to the medical community. That's what it should tell you.
Yeah. Even getting compliments.
So I think you need to hear this so that you have motivation and stop doubting yourself.
Yeah.
I think both of you guys, these two young ones, doubts yourself. Should never doubt yourself. Under my guidance and care and supervision and recommendation, you are receiving world-class recommendations. Always carry your book.
Yeah. Motivation.
And guess what? If you don't have a book right now, then finish the book I gave you.
Yeah.
You were handed CBT, you didn't finish it. You started on that one book that I purchased for you, you didn't finish it. You see that?
I'm still reading it.
No. You're not carrying it every single day.
No, I'm not.
And that you have to punish yourself. Every time when you fall short from your own standards, not my standards, your standards. The question becomes, what are your standards? How do you good, better, best? Never let it rest until your good is better and better. If I'm not resting, why should you?
That's what I ask her all the time.
If I am not retired, if I'm still carrying stuff, why are you
Yes.
not carrying stuff?
Yes.
Right? Yes or no? Simple. You just have to ask, why is this man still carrying stuff?
Yes. No. You're right.
All right. We're going to adjourn tonight so y'all can rest.
Well, it's always good talking to you.
Yes, always good, great conversation, quite motivational.
Oh,
Sorry if that sounded heavy.
when you
You needed it.
We're gonna watch something with you. There
Oh,
is
boy.
a series on vaping business.
On what?
On the vaping, how it came to the market and how they started selling and all that. There is a very good documentary that I want to watch with you.
Vaping? Okay.
I saw that trailer and I made a decision that I'm watching this with Sam.
Well,
It's called Jules. Is it the first thing that came into the market, like the Jules?
JUUL.
About the company. They
J-
want to be the Apple.
I
They
know.
want to be the first Apple company and showing how they dominate the market. We walk on it. If you watch that, oh, I want to watch with you. Anyway, Sean.
You know, if we wanted to become crooks in business, if they have it down to a science. Listen, the office of the wise know this, right? Number one, people need something to fidget and play with. You know, people always needed something to play with and fidget.
Yeah.
They need nicotine. Okay, my dad still uses nicotine. Right?
What does he do?
Oh yeah, he does. He smokes that Vietnamese tobacco that gives him nicotine, really potent nicotine.
Oh no.
It like wakes him up. It makes him like a super Buddha.
How did he even get that?
Oh, trust me, he gets it from Vietnam. All right. So, when you study for a long time, and you know what messes people up, and you know what their addiction is, you tap into their addiction. That's what these ding dongs out there, these companies, they do. They sit there instead of using their heads to change the world, they use their head to ruin the world. And they're like, hey, we got these kids that have ADHD. You know, all of them have ADHD. All of them are depressed. All of them are anxious. All of them need something to hold, to charge, to look cool, and smoke comes out. We've already known smoke, and ever since what is that? That pack. Well, what's some of the traditional?
You said Jules was original.
No, but traditional tobacco cigarettes back in the day was
Marlboro.
Marlboro.
Marlboro. Yeah.
Marlboro with the dude on the horse.
Yeah.
Right? And then they started brainwashing people on TV, and every elegant woman and any other ding dong that, right? Right? And then all that, okay? So kids started watching this, and kids started like, ooh.
I gotta look
Well,
at
that's
this.
called oral fixation, and that's an issue. That's a whole other issue.
The oral fixation also falls under Freud's theory. The not the phallic stage, but the oral stage in Freud's theory of growth and development. I may be wrong. Whoever is studying psychology, fix me. Right. But anyway, so kids try the cigarettes and they realize that it did something to their brain, and they need more of it, despite all of the warnings. And then the Surgeon General warning is like, this may cause cancer, your lungs gonna come out, you're gonna get gum cancer, mouth cancer, they're gonna cut into half your mouth is gonna be gone. They didn't care. They just keep on going and going. And then cigarettes got more expensive, and gross to kiss someone with cigarettes breath. So they come out, they're like, electronic, cheaper and cooler and more modern. Let's create this thing with flavors, perhaps. Flavors that they would like. Oh, everyone loves flavors, you
Yeah.
know? So they basically now trashing all of the young ones.
Actually, the juice company, when they came out, they wanted to be the next Apple. They wanted to get rid of cigarettes. They want to change the world. Their purpose was good at the beginning, but it was not like that. of
Careful with
course.
this arm, babe.
They started off with a different purpose,
Yeah.
and then like it went to, I mean, like I have done vapes before. Like we all have practiced it, but this is what I'm saying. Like this, they got this product in the market in a way that you thought doing this doesn't will not harm you. Something like everybody should. Well, I'm telling my cousins in Myanmar, like my young cousins, I sent all of them trailer. I said, you all are watching this documentary. They get really irritated when they get message from me on their Facebook. They don't like it.
It's very easy
for
tapping
me,
into
I love
people's
them like my
addiction.
family, so
It's-
I'm like teaching them because it's a documentary. It's better than you read a book or you watch it. You learn a lot.
Yeah. Anything that taps into people's
Nothing
addiction, like
I care about you. That's why I want you to watch something. With
gambling, tobacco, sex, alcohol, they're all gonna make money.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so
it's good to know about that. Like I get so inspired. I learn a lot of things because I watch things like that. I'm always watching documentary. I'm always watching how people found their company. I'm always watching how they sell. I'm always watching what's happening because that's what I'm interested in, and I learn a lot from it. So
just don't be the next one that's gonna ruin the world.
uh,
The new
I
evil.
appreciate even though they ruin it. There's something I always appreciate. Like they make it happen. You know, that's what I'm always looking for. How? Like I'm always finding the solution. You
Well,
know.
that's why you have my blessing tonight to open a restaurant
Yeah.
and feed people good stuff.
I'm kind of thinking about. I want to come. I want to do something different.
Okay, we're gonna leave so you guys can go to bed. What time is it?
You didn't finish the coffee.
I'm being
There's no
forced.
going to bed now. You've had
Someone call
coffee.
911. I'm being forced against my will to finish a coffee.
Call the Blackbird. What's it called? Blackbird or the what's the helicopter name?
Blackhawk.
Blackhawk.
Oh, and by the way, last thing I need to say is, if you don't carry a book with you and you work at McDonald's, don't come back to me.
Hey, McDonald's pays better now.
That's not the response
You
that
know-
Nero was looking for.
One of my great teacher, last night I was listening to him. You know, he's in Vietnam now, but he resides here in the city. He's very very popular. And he gave a Dhamma talk, and as he's giving the Dhamma talk, he didn't even look at people. He just like literally he was his mind was meditating, but he was moving his lips, giving the Dhamma talk. But it was such a very powerful Dhamma talk, and he actually held everyone responsible. And he
I'm listening. Multitasking.
and he uses a lot of you statements. I mean, that's one thing people don't really want to hear is you statements. But he basically, as he was closing his eyes, he's like, "You did this to yourself. You know, it will be your mistake." You know, okay.
Wow.
And he really threw lightning bolts at people. I felt that when I was on the couch trying to fall asleep. And when he said "you," I jerked. I was like, oh. Wow. Ooh. Ooh. So, but he knows. I mean, I think he's really fed up giving Dhamma talk. I think he just does it as a favor to the other abbots.
Yeah.
But he's fed up. Most of us Theravadins are fed up. He doesn't want to see people anymore. He does. That's how you know. When a monk is giving a Dhamma talk and they just close their eyes, they just don't care anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're doing their part. They're doing the minimum required. They're just because they're fed up because they know people are not going to do it. You know, and when the monk says carry a book, they're not going to do it. So it's like, what's the point? Like, oh, why am I here? You know, and they begged him actually. And the first thing he said when he sat down, he says, 2 things before we start today. Number 1, it's going to be short because it's really hot in this temple. And everyone's like, oh.
Oh wow.
And then like, so at 40 minutes, it stopped. He stopped at 40 minutes. And then the abbot grabbed the microphone and the abbot's like, the Venerable KT, what is it? No. Yeah, TTK, Venerable TK. We still have questions But you can tell the abbot was very careful and trying to convince him to stay longer. And he says, so perhaps it's not hot in here, but this is a little warm. And I think lately you've been traveling, and I think it's okay to give it a couple more minutes for the people, don't you think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he tried to like move because he realized this is a very powerful man. Venerable TK is a very influential, strict man. I mean, like,
Vietnamese.
I start to become like them because I've been around them for so long that the way how they speak is so direct and forward. They don't really care about people's feelings. Like they're there to tell you the truth
Wow.
about life. so yeah, they were very like they're walking on eggshells trying to get him to stay. So miraculously he stayed another hour answering questions.
Oh my.
Right. But it was gold coming out of his mouth. But
Yeah.
I felt that here over a screen.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I hope y'all really
That's
listen.
why it's so different with Burmese monk.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you listened to Burmese monk before?
no, I haven't. But that's Sam's wallet. Don't think that's mine. That's
Sam, you have a nice wallet. Show me that.
it's fake. Really,
You don't have to say that.
but it is fake.
It's fake.
So you got these types of monks, right? You got monks that tell people what they want to hear, and they're very like careful and really friendly, and they're putting on a show. That's what I call it, putting on a show, for the like, kind of like selling the teachings, right? And then you have monks like him who keeps it real, and sometimes he's too honest. He gives like examples of his own experience, and he makes people laugh. It just shows how real he is, flaws and stuff like that, his own flaws and stuff like that. And the other thing is, people need to understand that he is strict the way because he's trying to freeze your mind. So when he speaks like that, when he used the word "you" statement, oh my God, it was so powerful. He uses "I" statements and "you" statement. I've never heard him where it's been a long time since I've heard his demo talks. He's one that travels a lot, and you have to really mold your ears to listen to his tone. It's not pretty. Like it could be found offensive to your heart. Your heart is made to resist certain words that he's using.
Yeah.
So this time around, I just wanted to give it a shot again. I was just like, because my heart also like aches when he talks. I just feel guilt when he talks. I just like, oh God, you got to go there. Oh, I already know my flaws. Okay, all right. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is why I had a lot of meetings lately with a lot of reverends and priests and stuff like that, because their approach is lighter, very light-hearted approach versus the Theravadan approach. Theravadan approach is meant to penetrate your heart. We're gonna go into your veins, okay? We're gonna go into your veins. So this time around, I just wanted to see how he was going to conduct this talk, because obviously he's got a very large monastic panel behind him, and he's quite controversial with his words. So I was just like, I'm going there. I'm going to Vietnam, so I have to also brush up on my vocabularies to also speak to the masses. It's going to be me. I'm going to be sitting in that chair talking to a mass of people. I better know what I'm talking about, and I'm very weak in Vietnamese vocabulary. In Buddhism, I'm good at my job, but in Buddhism, I'm very weak. So I just want to brush up on my vocabulary, and he threw some of that out. But I felt how necessary it was for people, because people's minds have evolved. It has become more difficult to treat, more difficult to detain.
Because they have more knowledge, accessible knowledge now.
They just have this lawyer in their head.
Yeah.
And when the monk says something in their head, they're like, oh no, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm going to go do what I do. Oh, I like pleasure. So basically, he's so powerful that he's able to detain the entire room with his word. With his words, he's able to stop all of their minds from thinking, dispense truth, and that truth marinates in their hearts. So when they leave there, he wants them to recycle his words in their mind. He's trying to get them to perpetualize medicine in their hearts. So if their hearts came with fire, of greed, anger, and delusion. He's showering. What he's doing that I saw was that he was, as he spoke, there was like a couple pounds of rain, a couple pounds of invisible rain to cool the fire in their hearts. That's what he was doing. And in the most skillful way, and in the most aggressive, necessary, skillful, and appropriate way any monk could do. Now, also, now, his style is not what the typical monk should do. A typical monk should be calm, collective,
Yes.
inviting,
Yes.
compassionate,
Yes.
and deep understanding.
Yes.
But I think that he's been in the clinical world for so long, like I have, that we have to become a little bit more aggressive. Not because we want to. Your doctor, your actual medical doctor, he is compassionate, he is understanding, you love him because he's got what you're looking for. But when he's treating your problems, he's very aggressive. So look at my face when I'm saying that. When he's looking at the disease, in the eyes of an MD, they're like this. And when they're holding the scalpel, you know what I mean? So in medicine, they say serious disease or serious conditions met with serious medicine. And that the lay people have to understand that the monks, we are doctors of the mind. And we love all of you. That's why we're here. That's why we're still talking, okay? If we're talking, that means we love you. It's an expression of love and understanding. And sometimes the way we put it may not be the most ideal things that we all of you are looking in a monk, but we're trying to treat the disease of the mind in the people at hand. And it's difficult because we are treating something that we cannot see. No different than psychiatry. They're treating an organ that they cannot see.
All right.
Right. So when they're dealing with someone that is crazy, literally like schizophrenic, they have to like look at the patient, they have to approach talk therapy, chemical restraint, or you just ignore them, right? So that's and sometimes we do lose our touch, the quiet persistence that it should. And yes, and these monks, including myself, we have took a break from meditation for a long time, for quite a bit. That leads up to that type of aggression in the Dhamma talks, because we're supposed to, as soon as we realize that maybe we're treading the boundaries, maybe we should go back and in the forest and relax, look at the parrots and the trees and green and eat some vegetables, and then come back calm, like a revitalized, re-energized,
rejuvenated.
Right. But you look at his life and you look at my life, there's no possible chance for us to leisurely do that. Leisurely just up and leave and then abandon all of you. So therefore I have compassion for my teacher, because I realize that he doesn't have a break. And he tried to take a break and they convinced him to sit in a hot room. And his robes were wrapped all the way around his entire body like this as he was talking. And I know he's heating up. And those are not silk robes. So it's really hot in Vietnam. There was a fan. They tried to bring this fan in front of him, and the fan was so strong it blew. And he says, well, I guess we're giving a Dhamma talk during this hurricane. They all laughed. They all laughed.
Yeah.
He tried to be comical. He tried to balance it out. Right.
What are your personality traits that you had to work on when you were transferring to a monk? Like, did you have to work on your...
I was angry. You can still see traces of it. You can still tell when I'm talking to you, when I'm explaining things to you. You can tell the leadership, the aggressiveness, the directedness. You hear it, right?
Perfection.
Right. Perfection. Okay. So I had to be very mindful. I had to sit and meditate, and I had to study a lot from other monks, how they would be. I want you all to get the authentic me. So there's a lot of adjustment that I have to make skillfully when I'm speaking. But at the same time, I'm looking at faces. The faces determine how I speak to you, why I speak to you, and the language that I speak to you. And it is in all accordance to the teachings of the Buddha. And because the Buddha says you need to adjust who you're talking to and whether at this time you're talking to them, if they're capable of understanding the Four Noble Truths. So I've had students who are gangsters who have guns on them and they're sitting in front of me, and I have to use language, and I'm like, do you think the gangster that you actually are gonna win against the police? And I have to use all sorts of very negative, derogatory words, but that is their language, they understand. So they're looking at me and they think that I don't understand their world. I understand the world. I understand the world of drugs, gun, violence, girls, gambling, sex, right? So I have to match their level. I have to match their level. And I think a lot of people right now have been really noticing how I teach. And I just had a professor reach out to me for research. They're gonna interview me for the research so they can publish the research. That's quite a big thing. And then I also had a celebrity Latino monk interview me. I mean, he affects a lot of change in the Latino community. Remember, in the world, the 3 most used language is Chinese, Spanish, and then English. So, but he I think he's getting a kick out of how I talk to students in the streets. You know, when I'm out in public, I just give to Sam. I'm like, here, Sam, hit live. I'm being me. You see how natural I am on YouTube to them, and I'm matching their levels of understanding. You watch how I'm looking at their eyes, and they're, I got 2 smart kid, I got a dumb kid here, and I have to like switch mode and go back here, and I have to switch mode, all right? And I realize that someone's not taking me seriously, and these 2 I need to pay attention to and trying to. There's a lot of things going on here, right? And all I can do is do my best.
Do you think that you become like this because of your family too? The toxicity Asian
Oh
that we
yeah,
lived in?
I have very hard-headed parents. It's no different than Sam comes from a home where his parents are hard-headed, and he projected onto me. Sometimes when he speaks to me, sometimes in his mind it's like I'm the parent at home. It's very the way how he plays too is very aggressive. Like like when we wrestle and stuff like that. I can feel the grab. But some of these students, some of the younger students, I like to wrestle with them, and you feel how each one plays, and certain ones when they grab you, oh, listen, they can make King Kong scream because of the aggressive. But I understand why that translates into the body language, because they're so frustrated. There's no outlet. The only outlet they have is when they wrestle, and when they wrestle, you feel the aggression inside of their heart. So, in I have a very big family. So I am considered a prince in the Nguyen's family, and also a prince in the Huang's family. That means my grandmother only had my mom, my mom only had me, but my grandmother was the oldest one in the Nguyen's family. So technically, I have jurisdiction over all the ex-cousins and stuff, and the aunts and stuff, which have dramas on each one. So I already put my foot down at a very young age. All the drama that I've heard growing up, I've already went there, and I already said, when I come and visit you all in Vietnam, I don't want to hear anything that's negative. If I hear anything that's negative coming out of your mouth, you will never see my face again. You understand? Right? So I had to learn to ensure my own peace, put my foot down. Right? And on the Huang side of the family, they're also very rowdy. Not everyone has a perfect family. And I just learned how to set the tone, set the policy and procedure. Something that you never see Asian sons do. I've done something that Asian sons don't typically do. They are very submissive. Whatever the adults say, they do. I was not that one. I'm rebel, like you. So I get it. That's why I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? Everything you told me about your, what's going on, I know. But yeah, and that's why we practice loving kindness meditation, so that we have loving kindness for our own hearts, to see our own shortcomings, why we are the way that we are, because of our upbringing, of our upbringing, and towards the end, that's why I teach. Never tired of forgiving and never tired of asking for forgiveness. Because as I talk the way that I do and inspire people and whoever I offend out there, yeah, please forgive me. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to be me. I'll never be perfect as long as I live. So forgive me for being an imperfect monk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, absolutely. That's a very good question. No one's ever asked me that.
That's why Buddha said that I'm also a human at the end of the day. You know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
So, it's just so different than Vietnamese and listening to other moms, because the Burmese mom that I've been listening to, they are 95% of them are very calm. Like, the way they speak is just like calm, and like the way they talk is like very like different than.
You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in Ajahn Mun. Ajahn Mun was able to bring his students to enlightenment while he was alive. That's amazing. And the latter students have already said, perhaps at that time in history, the students were just ready and ripened. They were ready to be ripened to become arahants around that time. So what I do now, so I get bored like you guys, right? Before bed, I get bored. I check TikTok here and there, admittedly, and guilty of that. But then I always reel myself back in. I'm like, okay, I'm really wasting my time here. Where is Ajahn Mun? And as I'm going through, that's what I do. I investigate arahants. I investigate saints. And I just want to know how Ajahn Mun did it. You watch documentaries because you want to know how they did it.
Yeah.
That's a business side. I'm interested in enlightenment. I want to know how these teachers enlighten these students. And Ajahn Mun turned dumb people away. If you were dumb, he didn't take you as a student. So I have heard. Thus I have heard. Evo man sutang. So therefore, now I'm investigating and just figure out how I can bring my students to become first stage, second stage, third and fourth stage in that way. Because Ajahn Mun was a very and by the way, I caught one of his pictures. Okay, he's already dead long time ago. Okay, he's a very revered. One of his pictures, he sat in meditation and he looked at the camera. And it's on YouTube. And when you look at his eyes right now on YouTube, you can still feel him here with us. Holy cow. Like, he's got these eyes. They say in Vietnamese, tongue. Tongue meaning there's soul, there's presence and soul in his eyes. So if you ever came across certain people, you look at their eyes, you can really feel like, whoa. And I looked at one of the front image of the talk, and I felt him, and I was like, oh my God. Like, this man is still here with us. He's here with us. Just his eyes was just like,
I'm watching you.
Yeah, like, it's a very strict, it looks very, very strict. Very strict. Some of these arahants are very strict. But it's funny. His teacher, Ajahn Sao, looked like, well, I should reserve, because it's respectful to use certain adjectives in speaking with previous arahants, but it didn't look like Ajahn Mun. I expected Ajahn Sao to be more aggressive, perhaps, you know what I mean? Because he cultivated Ajahn Mun to be like that, and then Ajahn Mun cultivated Ajahn Chah like that. And Ajahn Chah was happy but strict. He had a mixture of, they all loved him as a venerable father, but they also feared him. They had wise fear when he was, they always wanted to gather around him when he gave talks at night. But they had this wise fear. He was able to instill wise fear in them. And they were Western students. So that I'm really interested in how he was able to crack the whip on all of them. And I have reason to believe, even though no one's ever said that Ajahn Chah's disciples, but we suspect that they are saints, living saints today, scattered in Europe and Thailand. But yeah, so just, keep studying.
Yeah. Well,
You guys-
you wait Sam.
Yeah, I think tonight was one of those very important nights that him and I speak about. So we go in public, we meet students, we debrief on students, and we talk about. We were with a student today who drove like an idiot,
Oh wow.
And,
Got it.
and we were trying to do peer-to-peer consultation and dissecting the behavior of why the student drove like an idiot. Maybe that's not nice to say, but it's not good, and we were trying to dissect their stage growth development, and he understands. And and I circle back around and I said, that's why you're different than the rest of them. He's different in many ways. He was able to see things
Yeah.
that is different.
Yeah.
He's
Sometimes
not-
you're born with it.
He's not right, not born with it, And the other thing that I test him, remember today we joked around about preference with the food thing?
Right, yeah.
When he sleeps, there is multiple lights at the door shining in when he sleeps. And there are days that he's exhausted. I know that. And I find it, with a smile on my face, that he doesn't have the preference of the light being in his face. How annoying a light being in your face. Remember when you're tired and exhausted and there's sound or lights in your face? Well, most people would be snappy.
Yeah.
They would be like, can you get that out of my face?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's mellow. He's very mellow for someone his age.
Yeah.
How he's able to see, how he can anticipate headaches
Yeah.
in the sense pleasure worlds.
Yeah.
So I just need to mold him a little bit more to, I think my hope for him, both of you actually, this is directed to both of you again, that, because I don't like speaking with dumb students. I'm very becoming a John Mun. You know what I mean? I just waste one's time, teacher's time, speaking to dumb students. So we try to just aim to just grab the smart students and just go with that, because this is like 8 billion people in the world. Both of you have tremendous amount of potentials, tremendous benefits to the world, an asset. Both of you should be protected at all and any cost. Like if I had money and can afford Secret Service, both of you would have your own Secret Service detail following you, make sure you eat the right stuff and not walk into traffic without seeing things. Don't use your phone while you're driving, to protect the longevity of your life, because that's how valuable you are to me in my eyes. Do you want me to say that again?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
So you need to see that for yourself, that you're blessed with these gifts, to listen, to hear, to understand, to do things to be beneficial for humanity. It's a gift, right? And I just hope that you all do something with that. I don't think you all need me to babysit you along the way. You know your gifts, and do something with it, and don't waste your talents. And you both have the ability to see suffering in the world. That's the first thing, right? And you don't be like the rest of the others that's out there, lost in the world. Don't be lost in the world. I think that's our hopes. Once again, if 3 of us fails, 2 is hopeful in this room. Okay? Right? Because we're getting old. We're old and we're getting older. You both are what I call early praise and promise. Early praise and promise. A promising future for the entire world. Not just for the United States. An asset to the entire world. You all just need to want it for yourself. If both of you, one of you go to waste out there, it's just like, great. Because we have 9 idiots out there. 1 smart student, 9 other idiots. We don't need more idiots in the world. There's a lot of problems to be solved.
That's a good point.
Right? We have a lot of problems to be solved. If you start watching the world and figure it out, you realize that these are a lot of idiots right now. You got idiots running the world, idiots in leadership, idiots. You know what I mean?
It sounds casual, but it's quite severe,
yeah, very severe. Delusional idiots running a country, and it's running a country, and people's lives are just like expendable. We're like little hamsters in the country that they can just do whatever they want to do. So when you all understand this one day, where I'm coming from, what I see in you, right? Maybe you don't see it in yourself because of self-doubt. I know you guys doubt yourself. Where am I in life? Why am I 21? Why am I 20? Why am I here? I don't even have a green card. I don't even have this. I don't even have that. I don't even have a degree. I don't even have a girlfriend. I don't have money. You don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, right? And every day is a blessing. Every day when you open your bright little eyes that you have there, bright luminous eyes with a luminous mind, okay? Luminous, like sheer bright light, incomparable to all of the ding-dongs that you all are seeing in the world. So, could not emphasize that enough. As long as I live, could not emphasize that enough. That's what makes me happy, is coming across students that is capable, intelligent, respectful, and a willingness to learn. And you both have a willingness to learn. So my time is coming very quick. I was thinking of you. We were exiting. We actually exited our residence, and we went to see the ocean. And when you texted me, we arrived at where we were, John's Pass. And then I said, all right, Sam, we got to go back. All the way back. Because I miss her. I want to see her. Because you know what I mean?
I was
And
going to take her there today.
you stole my idea.
We would have saw you there.
I was actually entertaining. I'm like, maybe I should invite them. They always invite us. Why don't I ever invite them? That's so selfish of me. And every day when I'm looking at my phone and my schedule and everything, my passport's on the way. And when my passport gets here, that to me is like a heart attack. Because now I have no more time. I literally have no more time when the passport gets here. Because of everything that's happening overseas and what they're convincing me and telling me and what I need to do and what I want to do for myself, I realize, oh crap. The time that I have with Sam is coming very short. Pretty soon, he's going to be receiving instructions over a phone or FaceTime, like FaceTiming Sam, And pretty soon, you all will be seeing me over a screen. Right? And how's it going?
No
How's your
attachment,
restaurant?
No attachment.
I'm not attached to y'all.
No attachment.
I'm not attached onto y'all. You know what I mean?
have to remind here. No attachment.
This
Do you get what I'm saying?
This is a subject of time running short, not attachment.
Right.
Well,
But
yeah,
the time, but
so cute.
But I'm like freaking out over the time thing. I'm just completely freaking out. You know what I mean? And what they said to me overseas is that there's no one here to provide psychological services for people. And I realized that I may be stuck there for years. And if I like it and if they listen to me, if they actually, I swear to God, if they don't listen. I swear to Buddha if they don't listen. God and Buddha if they don't listen. I am gone. I don't care if you have $1 million to ask me to stay. I am gone. Because I'm at that point now where I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to give you recommendation advice. And if you don't take it, because I already got enough data to know that Americans don't take advice. And all I need is some more data that Asian people don't take advice. But I was like, well, there's no hope for y'all. Just keep drinking. Keep doing whatever the hell you're doing. Why are we here? You're wasting your time. You're wasting my time. Now, get out. Shut the door.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Asian country and your traveling will open a whole new perspective and platform for you. And I think like it is something should be done. I mean I'll miss you, but at the same time I really want you to go.
And eventually, guess where I'm going to end my stay if everything fails?
Myanmar.
Yeah. Oh, you're not gonna feel
This
there.
color.
You're not,
This color.
yeah,
Myanmar.
You're not gonna feel there.
Oh, I know that. But I just can't wait to just sit there and just relax.
You're not gonna feel it in Myanmar.
But what my teacher said about Myanmar, I'm ready. And my teacher and I, we're doing our own thing right now. But we have this agenda that we will meet each other there. So, my journey is an experiment.
Yeah.
They want me to go and counsel. I'll go do psychotherapy overseas. But then when I realize, it's not working out here either. So that's when I call my teacher. I'm like, are you ready? Because I'm ready right now to meet you in Myanmar. Because he can speak it. He's been there for like 15
Do you know
years.
Buddha Gaya?
Bodh Gaya?
Buddha Gaya?
Yeah.
It's in Nepal, right? Where is it, Bishop Buddha Gaya? Nepal?
Nepal.
My mom wants to go there. Buddha Gaya. It's like a destination. I have to do a research.
You both make
on
a
it.
lot of money, so y'all can meet us there. By that time comes, I need to be a darn saint.
I really want you to go to Myanmar.
No, I know. I'm gonna be there. Trust me. It's
That
one
color,
of
you're right. That's how they wear.
that's Burmese color. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very revered color. So,
That's
all
pagoda.
right, we have to fix his car
That's
in the morning.
pagoda.
I know.
Straight up pagoda.
All right, he's got to fix his car in the morning at 10, 9, 10, 10, 10. So he's gonna go catch.
Sam, can
Yes.
you do car detailings and all that?
Uh,
I'll hire you. I'll pay you. Don't you want to make some extra
what do
cash?
you need done?
You make
I'm trying to give money to the family.
kinda-
People don't want to take it.
I'm like, well, all right. Look, here's the thing with detailing. I'm kind of like everything that he just said and his standpoint, because I was doing it for a long time and I met a lot of people. That's kind of where I'm at with detailing. So it's like, what do you need? What exactly do you want done? And
Oh, I am not picky.
what do you want done?
Not now. I'll tell you. Just a little bit cleaning to my
Okay.
car.
Girl, you got a new car.
I know.
Well,
I
that's
like to
the
keep up
best
with it.
time to.
Oh, to do it?
Mhm.
Oh.
Thanks,
So,
Sam. You get it.
so if you set a budget,
Uh-huh.
he will apply all of the protective coating according to your budget because
Yes.
he knows what to get. The things
Yes.
that I've learned so much from this kid about who the hell knows about cars, you know?
Uh-huh.
My car looks like the city sanitation vehicle.
Not anymore. He clean part it.
Yeah. He tells me all these things I didn't know about car. I'm like, what? Really? I was like, oh, okay. But he's really good at it.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, you know, he should be. Damn it! If I had extra money, I would buy him like a truck and give him all that he needs so he can run around and do. He's so good at it. He makes cars look like something straight out of like a show. From his neighbors, what he did to his neighbors' cars for like how about like $100, $80? What?
Yeah, way too cheap.
Holy cow! You know what I mean? He's not one to like slice people with price, and I'm like,
Because I knew, well, okay, so that was when I was trying to start doing it for myself. I had business cards, I had a bunch of stuff
Good.
doing
Yeah.
it, and I was doing it to get out there to get sales.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had quite a few bigger clients too, but the thing that I learned was that, okay, I kind of effed myself because I set this price, and I can't
excuse the
really
language.
raise it, and because I'm just starting, I have no name. So, but it was to try and get experience and time and all of that, and then I went and worked for another guy doing it professionally under his name, and then he ended up having me manage it, and he basically had me, I was working like 24/7, like all the time. I helped him, I had connections at the time with people who already had big businesses, and I had them help with the website, brochure, making the brand the same through and through the business cards, the brochures, the website, everything congruent. But that didn't really work out, so I was like, and then also I got a lot of information on automotive side of it and marine, and I'm like, oh boy. Because people nowadays, right, they just want to blame and pick and choose and pick apart people and get free things. The amount of things that I had talk about praise and blame. You want praise and blame, you go into auto detailing.
Well, the ones who blame you are idiots. There's 3 commonalities in this room. 1, 2, and 3. Guess what's the commonality in 3 is? The 3 of you all pay really close to small details. Will you ever see him clean some of the equipment that I have him clean? He literally I got, the Q-tips y'all got? We ordered special Q-tips with like really pointy Q-tips. Like the head of it is really pointy like this pen. This kid is sitting there literally like
Detail.
I'm like, it's not that deep. It's okay. If he was like a dental hygienist, you'll have a brand new set of teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone here's been a dental hygienist, right? And you can
Yeah.
feel ones that are like thorough and
Yeah.
ones that are like reckless, and you're like,
Yeah.
ew, I wonder how you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Girl, you don't get away from me. Okay.
Yeah, so why don't you, what Sam, you see, like the common thing, I mean, I'm not saying that common with you and me, so me personally, I have been to state for 4 years and a half now, and there are a lot of things I've achieved and done and experienced in these 4 years. And if you look at me, I'm the same thing. I did the website, salon, opened up everything, and then left everything, didn't work out, and start all over. But the experience, right? Right now, the experience you have with cars and detailing and all that, that's like priceless.
Because I was craving knowledge, and
Yes.
not only craving knowledge, but craving to get away from my parents as much as I possibly could when
Yeah.
I was younger. I've worked since I was like full-time, like 14.
Oh.
When I first started working, I had 5 jobs. 3 of them were for myself. One of them was mowing lawns around my neighborhood.
Mm.
And then I'm like, I was like, okay, I'm working way too much. And I looked at what I was making at each one, and I was part-time at one, and I was like, I'm going to go full-time. So, I mean, I've just worked a lot, and I also wanted to know, I was like you. When I was a kid, I mean, yeah, I watched cartoons, but I mainly watched Animal Planet and then, like, the stuff on YouTube, like, how it's made, because I wanted to know how things worked.
Yeah.
My dad was a truck driver. He used to bring me home little trucks. I would take them apart and put everything into separate bins. I never could get them back together, but I wanted to know how. I was like, this is this. Talk about right view and how this is a table, but it's really not a table. And if you look at it under a microscope, it's a bunch of atoms. I'm like, this is this, but how did it become this? And I always wanted to know, and that's why I've done. If I told you everything that I've done throughout my life as far as careers and occupations, like I've told certain people, and they're like, huh?
Mm.
But because I wanted the knowledge, and
Yeah.
I didn't. He gonna look at me like a John Moon when I say this, but I was like, I never liked sitting because I had really bad ADHD, and I didn't like sitting in schools. I didn't like schools. I didn't like sitting and reading books.
Yeah.
I liked being hands-on with things.
Yeah.
So,
Like, you can stay still.
and I'm like, hire me.
Mm-hmm.
And then people would see. That's why when I talked to Matt earlier, he's pretty much begging me to come back. Every time I talk to him, he's begging me to come back.
What does he do, man?
Mechanic.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a very old master tech. Like he's been in the trade for like his whole life basically.
Ask for the partnership.
But because I wanted the knowledge and things, and that's why I've done automotive. That's why I've done marine. That's why I've done detailing,
Yeah.
working on them, cleaning them, fixing them.
Yeah.
Food and hospitality. Everybody should go. Young people, everybody should go into food and hospitality at some point, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a lot of skills, and it gives you one thing. I have a lot of compassion for people in the hospitality business because of the things that I've seen and they have to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
Like dealing with people.
Listen, when I'm gone, all 4 of you all get together often, exchange ideas, write things down, and solve problems on your own. We have a good group here, with or without me. But obviously, all of you all have a good quality, good group, good leadership. You know what I'm saying? Put your brains together so you don't make mistakes. You're less likely to make a mistake if you put the ideas out, plan it out, work it together. Because who the hell are you going to blame if you don't put your brains together? You all have different skill sets to make a lot of money. So make a lot of money, you know what I mean? And discuss it. I think y'all can use him in the industries that you guys are going to. And he is now very skilled at selecting humans. So when you do staffing humans, very high liability. He can be human resources.
be careful not to settle. Because it's very hard to find good employees right now. And even because with my work now.
Yeah, don't settle for less.
Because they get into these
Y'all can see this young lady.
They get in these positions where they're in such bad need of employees and they do things a little bit too quick. And I tell them, like, I'm very transparent with my manager, and I'm like, really? And the amount of suffering that they have to go through because they hired these people, but because they have no other option and they're settling. So be very careful. Employees is very difficult.
Yeah.
Every occupation I've been in, that is the biggest chief complaint I always hear,
Yeah.
is the employees.
Well, I think you're very skilled.